It always stalls me out at the start. I don't know why.
Every time. I don't know. It hates you.
I think it's maybe because I'm the main person that's going, all right, hi. The podcast is back. I had some stuff go on, so I guess I can go last in what days are going on. Bree, how was your 2 weeks?
Well, I think the background really explains everything. The last 2 weeks have been funny. I've been working on stuff I can't really super duper talk about yet. New computers have been going, and my brain is slowly melting.
Mike, what has been going on, buddy?
Well, last week I lost my other grandmother, so this past week my family and I have been down in Long Island. For those who don't know, in the Jewish faith, we do the funeral basically no less, like no more than like 72 hours after time of death, because we don't do a wake or anything. So we had the funeral on Friday, and then people kept coming to visit over the weekend for Shiva. So that's been my week.
My weeks, I watched Terminator Genesis. Not Terminator Genesis, Terminator Zero, which fantastic. I went to a tattoo convention this past weekend, and for my Simone tattoo that I got entered in a cover-up competition. Initially tied for first, but I ended up getting second, so I'll take that. I tell you, I've never seen a more body-positive environment in my entire life than at a tattoo convention.
Nice.
It was at the back end of a casino, and walking through, like, there was no signs, there was no nothing, and I'm just asked the security guard, I'm like, this is like my second time in a casino in my entire life. I am not a gambler whatsoever. And the first time was because we were told to go eat when I went to a training thing in California for my job. We were told to go eat at the steak place in the casino. And that was literally the only time otherwise I went. And I'm like, where's going on? He's like, oh yeah, it's in the back there. And I see people freaking skin tight ass Speedo, full legs, exact shirts off, just walking around the back end convention hall. I'm like, this is different. All right. Sure. And then like a couple of the stuff was going on, and then like in the back end where my tattooer and his other guy from his place were comes out and he goes, so I gotta ask you, is this more or less of the amount of ass that you see compared to an anime convention? I'm like, it's a different kind. I won't say more or less because I've regularly seen Ryuko cosplayers. So
first of all, for full respect to them, I'm like, that and Satsuki, I'm like, because that can go wrong very fast, very quick. It can. Oh boy, was tape applied in the right places. And it's one of those things where I'm like, you have a great cosplay. I can't share pictures with you with you. But I congratulate you on your cosplay. Like this, like I just was in Anime 414 the other weekend where I got your print, and there was a phenomenal, might be the best Yoko cosplayer I'd seen in my entire life. Can't take a picture with her. Just can't do it. I'm just like, I'd be like, your cosplay is really good. Are you perv? Like, no, I'm not being a perv. I just like, I literally have like the anime legit saved my life. I'm not being creepy. I swear to God. Please, I'm not being creepy. But yeah, and then the last one I watched on my binge list was Codebreakers. I've seen so many people tell me that Codebreakers is phenomenal. I will say the premise for that show is phenomenal. I don't know if I've seen a show vacillate in its tone more in my entire life. Like the tonal version of Whiplash is what I got in every episode of that show. Like topics brought up that they just never do anything with ever again. It was cool because I got to see one of the like 5 animes that Ashley Birch has voice acted in.
because she basically called it cold turkey after Attack on Titan, since she's basically doing Horizon and like anything else now. She like barely even goes to conventions anymore. But yeah, that was good. And then yesterday, on the next part of my binge, I finally started watching Mob Psycho. So I got one episode into it, and it is fantastic. Reagan might be one of my favorite characters in an anime ever. Have either of you seen it?
I haven't.
I've seen parts of it, but I have like not committed, and I should feel bad about that.
It's one of those where the animation can pull some people off, and I can understand that. But just like the first 2 minutes, it's basically, I don't know for context wise, but I'm assuming it's an in media res, because holy shit is some stuff happening that is not happening in the rest of that episode. And it starts like a countdown timer, like the 100 in the Mob Psycho thing has a meaning, and it sounds really cool. And then Reagan Arataka is essentially a psychic who's a fake, who lies his ass off to customers and then gets the actual main hero, Mob, to do all of his exorcisms while acting like he's actually doing the exorcisms. And like during the first exorcism, like he throws salt at him, and then the ghost lets him know that only works with purified salt. Like, it's the biggest phony ever, and it's just the best.
One of these days, like, I'm gonna get through that one.
It's only like, it's 37 episodes of 2 OVAs. This weekend, I might blitz through the whole thing, because I laughed my fucking ass off in that first episode. I mean,
everything that one writes is great.
It's so good. And just the nonchalance of Mob, which Shiego, I think is his real name. They barely ever say his actual name. They mostly just call him Mob. But yeah, it's great. Also, that opening theme is, to quote Joe Santagato, this song fucks. That opening theme for Mob Psycho 100 is a fucking banger. Holy shit. But all right, so what in the that I haven't seen all of Mob Psycho, but I love everything I have seen. It's one of those that I'm going to start shouting to people from the heavens. That one was obviously Gurren Lagann Attack on Titan. My next one's going to be Mob Psycho. I have a great feeling, and I feel it off of one freaking episode.
You know,
one.
The other big one, and I'm going to make you watch this, Brock. Dawn to Dawn.
When it's done.
No. No.
Brock, if it's playing in theaters, because I think the first 3 episodes are getting like a limited release, go.
I right now, I am going to show y'all what I am sitting with that I cannot physically commit to watching another anime until I start finishing some shit. I have this list growing and growing and growing and growing and growing.
Oh, yeah. I just said so. Burn the Witch. There's technically actually four episodes. They did it.
Oh no, I know, but like, and then I get down to here with Watched. I cannot commit to getting any more on here or starting ones that aren't done, because my life I can't. I just can't. I waited until Attack on Titan was done and then watched all 90 some episodes in a week. I can't. I just can't.
Understandable. However, that will not stop me from recommending things.
You can recommend whatever you want, but no, it is going onto that list and it's going to sit there. Anyway, all right, let's get on to the actual topics here. All right, before we start our first buy or sell, I have to replay a clip because I am so happy that I called this shit. That was during our Sonic 2 review. I called that shit.
Yes, we did.
Anyway, Mike, buy or sell the Sonic 3 trailer.
Yeah, I buy it. And I believe even the director buys it too, because he kind of started his career doing like effects for the Shadow the Hedgehog video game, so
it's just so
clearly
perfect.
he's got a favorite.
Bree,
Look, I'm gonna admit something. Most of my knowledge of Sonic is from the Sonic fandom. I don't know. I just completely fucking missed the boat on that one. That's on me. But looks good.
Just the first line. We go walk up, and it's just like, you're a colorful bunch. I'm like, you nailed it. We're done. That's the only line I needed. That's fine. You just nailed Shadow's stupid disposition on everything in one line. And someone mentioned, I'm still salty that Amy, I'm telling you right now, Heisers.
No. Amy's technically in there. Just technically, Amy is in there. So in the first movie, there's a cameo that from like a real estate listing. The realtor is named Amy Rose.
Oh,
okay. But anyway, I'm telling you right now, the people working on the films have actually said they don't know with good consciousness if they can actually put Rouge in the films. Because they don't know how they're going to feel working on it, and they don't know how kids are going to feel watching it. So I understand, but I'm saying right now also, if Rouge did end up in these films, it would somehow be voiced by Scarlett Johansson, and it would make me feel weird things. I don't need furry bat tits in my Sonic films, because they would put them in there, because otherwise everyone would bitch that they aren't there.
And see, this is why my relationship with Sonic is contentious at best.
You don't need Rouge. I know everyone loves Rouge. I get it. This sounds like a clip. Anything can be if it wants to be. That is up to our resident editor if she wants to do it. Well, I'll leave that private message up to you, Free. That is completely on you if you want to do that. Anyway, but okay, so I guess this is just a buy or sell as like a yay sort of thing. Alien Romulus is already the second highest grossing Alien film. It was originally set to release on Hulu. Mike, buy or sell?
I buy that it's reached that milestone. I sell this ever going to Hulu.
Well, no, because they did that with Prey, and then Prey got good numbers, and they realized, well, kind of fucked up here.
Oh, exactly.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what happened, because $80 million
I know that happened. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, $80 million for a Hulu movie seems like reasonable. Like, that seems like a normal, like, mid-budget movie. And then they were like, oh, fuck, we got to put this in theaters. Because that's basically essentially what is happening with, like, Moana 2, but that was more of like a restructuring rather than changing distribution. So it's a lot of Disney saying, we're wasting too much money in streaming. We, back it up. We, got to make money off this. We spend too much money. Oh crap. Oh fuck.
Yeah, that was one of those where I was just like, how fucking stupid are you that you made that film and then put it on a streaming service? Prey of all things would have made you fucking bank. That was the coolest concept you put in a Predator film in 5 films.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the correct thing is, I actually have never watched it in English. I just watched the Comanche dub, so that's
nice.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, they had all the original actors. It's all dubbed in Comanche. I think they did something similar with the Avengers not too long ago, but no.
They did. I don't remember what language it was in, but they did have them do redubbings. All right. Moving on, and I buy the living shit out of this because I don't know how on God's green earth this wasn't a thing already. Bree, buy or sell that California state legislature has passed a bill that when a dead actor/performer's likeness is replicated by AI, they must first require consent from the person's estate.
Hell of a buy, and God, our government needs to work quicker because Jesus Christ. I mean, it's usually like common, like that's what you're supposed to do. Like that's the natural thing is usually to ask the estate. But a lot of times, I guess in more recent years, that's not always the case, but good God.
Yeah. Forgot to say that the bill still needs to be signed into law by Gavin Newsom, but I assume that it will be signed in. Mike?
Yeah, of course I buy this. And just the fact that it needs to be a law in the first place is just kind of bizarre to me. Like that should just be procedure, like anyway.
I mean, we can never have something like the Flash movie again. I know some of them are assed off, but I'm like, some of them, I'm like, there's no way they got permission.
That Flash one where they got a Superman actor who literally ended his life because of that role.
Right. And to my knowledge, he doesn't have any surviving family. So like, who the hell are they going to ask? So I'm like, that was worse than the Christopher Reeve stuff, because at least, the Christopher Reeve stuff, like they probably asked, it's still like really, really bad and awful, but
it is. And it's like, I'm all for if, let's say, how do I want to say this? If a character for a 2-second scene to move a scene forward, they wanted to have like a memo of him saying like 2 words, whatever, and then you gave compensation to the family said yes, and it actually helped the film. And it was a cool thing where this person wanted to do this role if it ever came up and they died before it came to pass. And you just got them in there for the cool thing to do it.
Or like what happened to Paul Walker, where his scenes weren't done. Yeah. And then his brother stepped in for him and they just did like a face replace. Like, that's fine.
Yeah. And then like, isn't it Christopher Reeve's son is going to be in the new, or am I getting that wrong?
Oh,
what?
Will Reeve?
Like, Will Reeves is going to be in the new Superman movie. Like, yep. That's awesome. Like, I understand that's not what we're talking about, but that's a lot better than just sticking a CGI clone of his dad in there as a janitor, because that's what old stupid people would do with things like this. Randy Travis had a stroke in 2013. He originally had an AI. Ugh, I don't like that. Especially Randy Travis. I don't. Oh, it did. Now, if he wanted to, if he used it and that was fine, then that's fine. But
yeah, the only time that's been kind of okay was with Val Kilmer's voice, because Val Kilmer still gave the performance, and that's just using archived audio for him. Like, that's the only instance that's okay.
Didn't they also, I could be 1,000% wrong, didn't they use AI recently to, like, finish a Beatles song?
Yeah, that was, no.
And it was not great?
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's like, you can't. Now, if the Randy Travis thing, if he like used it to, because he can't with his own voice, but he like actually knows what he wants it to sound like, and he's trying to separate John's vocals from the music on the demo. Okay. That's a little different.
That's stem splitting. Yeah, that's a totally different thing.
Yeah, that actually using it for a good purpose, that's fine. But like, you can't, and this is what I try to explain to people who are just like, yeah, you just throw it in there and it does the thing. Blah, blah, blah. Like, this goes back to the Erica Lindbeck thing where they freaking bullied her clean off the internet. Where they're just like, yeah, I'm just using your voice for fun. It's a part of their person's soul. You can't make personality, or what I want to say, you cannot create an experience through AI. And I'm not saying all singers actually use life experiences to make their songs. I've listened to rap for a good amount of my life. it doesn't take rocket science for a lot of them to sing about wanting bitches and getting money 1,700 times and then bitch at Eminem because he sang about a Psycho fan and he has no real lyrics. Anyway, but like with the Beatles, they put everything they had into those songs to make them theirs. You can't just AI what the Beatles are.
Exactly.
You can't. Like, you just can't.
Or the earlier debacle with the AI Tupac and like Drake.
Yeah, that was very not okay. Like, how on God's green earth he thought that was a good thing to do? Like, that is going to get you shot on the West Coast. You are not liked already. Kendrick Lamar brought out everyone to piss on your grave and then have Amazon Prime live stream it. On Juneteenth! Now in history, every time Juneteenth comes up, you're going to be notified about the live funeral of Drake. There's no one, and I mean this in the most applauding way possible. I applaud pettiness when it is taken to that level. Hating on that degree when you just use skill to it is amazing. When you actually make it an art form, like Kendrick Lamar did, that's magical. That shit I like. Same. That was like, no, son. You said some shit you shouldn't have said, and now I'm going to unload 10 years worth of shit on you. The song already recorded, the song I've learned a lot, and they posted the voiceover. Okay, so they used it to actually use it to actually appropriate measures of the song. That I'm okay with. Okay, so this next buy or sell, I'm going to go first.
Oh, God.
I woke up, and the first thing I see when this topic got into the doc is Studio Trigger. Fucking Studio Trigger announcing they are making a Transformers project for 40th anniversary. I'm telling you right now, as you see the tattoo on my arm, my favorite media property of all time is Gurren Lagann. There is nothing in this planet that will come close to this. If Hiroyuki Imishii and Kazuki Nagashima get to touch the Transformers property in a directing and writing standpoint, I know no one's been confirmed for this project, but Imishii's there. And I'm telling you right now that Nakashima would drop anything to say that those two got to make a Transformers project. My head will explode. You will hear the sonic squelch that I let out when that project is made across the globe. I can't tell you a possible project I've been more excited for in my entire life. I've had people tell me multiple times, hey, would you ever want anyone to do anything more with Gurren Lagann as your favorite thing? No, never fucking touch it again, ever. The closest thing you ever did that I wanted was you did the English dubs of the movies. I don't need to see anything other than a possible alternate ending where Nia and Simone got married and had kids. I don't need to see anything else. But the next best thing would be them making a mech show with the next best property you could get. Needless to say, I kind of buy it with every cent that I have. I need this in my life. I need this in my life yesterday. I can't tell you the internet explosion that will happen if they actually announce that as the directing and writing duo of this. Because if I see the robot magical girl transformation horseshit that they pulled in Gurren with Transformers, and I get to hear Peter Cullen give an inspirational speech akin to that of Simone or Kamina written by Nakashima, I'll fucking die. Do y'all understand the thing that they can pull off right now with this project? Believe in the Prime who believes in you? Are you fucking kidding me right now? I need this. The amount of photoshops and fan arts that are gonna happen, I can't handle it. Mike, buy or sell?
I buy this. And
oh my god!
Just to throw in a prediction, because I know we're getting a new Transformers animated movie this month. I have a feeling that on the day that it premieres, which is, I think, September 20th.
Yes, it's coming up because they're starting to put more spots on.
Bro, you need to see Promare, I swear to God. I know. That's the one I've put off because it's the one that is the one they have left. That's the one they have left. I'm putting it off only because I'm doing a fresh takes with him and Cameron about it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. Because I didn't have a YouTube channel at the time and I was not that much into anime. And that was the one that somehow slipped the ether that I didn't know about it. Anyway.
Yeah, we will get
I'm disappointed in you. I'm very disappointed.
It's being saved for a special occasion.
Anyway, I have a feeling that either the week of or even like the day of the premiere of Transformers 1, we're gonna get an official announcement from Trigger.
Do we even know what this project is? Is it like a short or is it a full project?
It is a Transformers project. That is all we know.
It could be as big as like a 13-episode Netflix anime series.
Mike, I can only get so erect.
or it could be as short as like a 5-minute short put in front of the movie.
I need to see Nakashima's writing with Optimus Prime. I just need it. Like, also, another one that he wrote, go watch Back Arrow. It is literally, and I mean literally, Gurren Lagann again.
I need to finish that.
It's so good. They just take the. I will tell you though, the last beat of Back Arrow is one of the most batshit things I've ever seen shown as a plot twist ever. I can't even properly describe to you the last 10 minutes of that show. The thing that comes in at the very last point is actually insane. But all right. On the things I didn't know were on my 2024 bingo card. Mike, buy or sell, Paul Rudd and Jack Black are in talks to star in a horror comedy reboot of Anaconda.
I'm still kind of mad at Jack Black for throwing Kyle Gass under the bus earlier this summer. But all that can be forgiven if this movie delivers.
They put that, I understand they did that, but did they put the whole thing back on tour? Or
I honestly don't know what's going on with Tenacious D right now. Okay. Maybe they're waiting till this election is over before they even make any formal announcement.
That probably makes sense.
But still, like, all of that aside, this project sounds like it could work.
I'm more excited about the fact that Paul Rudd's in it. Like, I like Jack Black, I really do. And I really didn't even like that many things that Jack Black was in outside of School of Rock until Jumanji. So I really the thing that's weird to me is an Anaconda movie and it's classified as a horror comedy?
Just like, why?
I understand there can be jokes in it, like, their snakes are dead is big. Like, you can have jokes in an Anaconda movie. But where is the comedy involved? I don't know. That's going to turn into a full discussion. Bree, buy or sell? Paul Rudd and Jack Black in talks for a horror comedy reboot of Anaconda from writer-director Tom Gormican? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Okay. Oh, I just realized I had my arm guard on from earlier from editing. Whoops. Anyway, take this shit off. Look, do we have to reboot everything from the 90s? Here's the thing. Did the original Anaconda, I knew it made money, but I mean, did it make that much money? I'm like, why? And just... otherwise I'm gonna try to cut myself off here before I go into a rant, but are we that creatively bankrupt?
Now, I'm gonna be really honest with you. I had someone bring this up to me the other day, and I'm kind of okay with the idea that holy fuck, it got that many sequels. I knew it had some, but
were they direct to video?
Some of them were in theaters, but anyway. How much money did the Anaconda movie make? It made $136.8 million on a $45 million budget. So and I'm going to assume it was rated R. No, it was PG-13. Wow, that was the 90s. Okay. Anyway, someone brought up to me the other day that they want a mainstream version of dinosaur movies that isn't Jurassic Park. And that hit me like a truck that I want that too.
Oh yeah, same.
But we can't have that because no one's going to watch it unless it's Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I mean, was that earlier this year or was this last year, the Adam Driver dinosaur
65?
Movie?
That was March of last year.
That's what I'm saying.
I think part of the reason why non-Jurassic Park dinosaur movies are as hard to sell as non-Tolkien fantasy movies, it's because what came before was just that revolutionary that nothing else can compare.
Oh, and it's branding, and they're just going to say that, oh, we can get this and whatever, and you're not going to get the budget that a Jurassic Park movie does. So that's Anaconda, the bar is low. Anaconda is that of snake movies. I know, but I will be, because I wonder if they're just doing the comedy thing, because how can you even, that Anaconda movie was actually legit scary back in the day. The atmosphere of how they directed it was great, and Jon Voight was terrifying. He looks terrifying. That helped a lot, and that was not just in that movie, but I wonder if they have to even do that to differentiate it, because I don't know if you can make a legit snake movie that makes you feel as scared. Who people, if you don't want to see Romulus, look up the actual rig they made for the xenomorph.
I saw that, and then someone put some of the music from Wicked with Defying Gravity, it's me, right as Alpha goes up to the cherry picker.
Yeah, but you can make amazing practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you'd be able to make it something that good with an Anaconda, but if you can make that something convincingly scary with an Anaconda that actually feels like it's there, that could help a lot. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. All right. Bree, buy or sell? Kick-Ass director Matthew Vaughn has confirmed that Kick-Ass 3 is being worked on, and he wants the original cast to return for the sequels. When did Kick-Ass 2 come
out? A while ago. I
2013.
I'd buy. I enjoyed both Kick-Ass movies. I know, the second one, it isn't as good, but now that there's kind of a bit more time in between them, yeah, I'd be into it.
Mike?
I kind of have to sell this only because it's been over a decade. I'm unless the story is about how much time has passed.
I assume it would be.
Yeah. I have to see this actually come to pass before I
does
can
anyone
make
know if the Kick-Ass movies have a time skip in them?
I don't think so.
I don't know either.
I mean, it's been a while
2013.
since I've seen Kick-Ass 2, so
Yeah, and it would almost like the weird part is how they end the second Kick-Ass movie is Hit Girl kissing Kick-Ass. So it's either going to be they have a 10-year-old or a 9-year-old, sorry, and either that or they did that and nothing happens and they do end up getting back to get like they have to address that somehow. And, that does help since she's, older now, because how old was she at the first one? Actually 13? She was little. She was super young. Like, she was appropriately casted for the Kick-Ass character or for the Hit Girl character.
Yeah, let's see. She's 27 now.
And the original one would have came out a few years before 2013, so
yeah, so
carrying the zeros, she would have been young.
Yeah.
But also that is in the first Kick-Ass, that's a very underappreciated Nicolas Cage role.
It is.
He's so good in that.
He's so good. The final kryptonite! It's so weird. And cast return for more sequels, by the way. More than one. So, yeah. All right. This one really only applies to me, I think, because I'm the biggest gamer here, and I kind of think I know why they're doing this now, considering an announcement that I just found out the other day that made me want to cry. Capcom would like to bring back many of its old IPs, but somehow it still will not be Dino Crisis.
Oh.
So I buy that they want to do that if the first game that they announce is Dino Crisis. Because they literally put a red-haired girl into... Oh no, what's the game called? You've never heard of Dino Crisis? Oh my... Joints just broke in half.
Zach, we've had this discussion before. Dude, did you just miss out the 90s and the early 2000s? No, you have to educate yourself.
Oh, my joints. Oh, they're turning into napalm. Okay, I can't even think of what it was. The live servicey dinosaur game they just came out with. The name is escaping me. But anyway, they made a red-haired character that looked just like Regina, be one of the playable characters. So they're fully aware that they're not redoing Dino Crisis. They're fully aware. I was waiting for them to put a game mode in it called Dino Crisis. I was waiting on it. To the point of where every time it got brought up in a thing, me and Kiona would go, oh no, it's a Dino Crisis. But yeah.
It's a crisis of dinosaurs.
What are we going to call this? Dino Crisis. But yeah, no, when we're going to get down to the gaming news, I'm going to. Anyway, but Mike, the next one. Mike, buy or sell the snippet of the final trailer for Arcane Season 2, which drops on Thursday. Before we say this, stop doing this.
Yes,
trailers for trailers. I'm so sick of.
I'm yeah, it's a treat, but also I'm why do this 2 days before the trailer? If this was 2 weeks ago, I'd be okay, cool, thanks.
Put out a tweet. Trailers Thursday. I don't need 10 seconds of the 2-minute trailer. You're trailering a trailer for a movie.
And that's exactly why I didn't watch this snippet, because I'm now that I know a trailer is coming Thursday, I'm just going to watch the trailer on Thursday.
Exactly. You're just trying to get money from gaming views.
Okay, well, I think in context, more the reason why they did this is because it features a new original song from season 2. So I think it was more like an advertisement for the song coming out Thursday. But either way, it's still kind of fucking dumb.
It is kind of dumb. And I really, at this point, I'm going to be honest with you with Riot for more than I'm hearing now. I used to be one of those guys, and I still am, that the best things that Riot does with League of Legends is everything outside of the game.
Yep.
I love Arcane. Have no intention of ever playing League ever.
Nope, me either. Me either. And one of my legit favorite musical acts of the last 6 years was KDA. And I'm now finding out recently that we're probably never getting any more KDA ever again because they borderline paid them scraps to do it.
Which just kind of sucks. Like, pay your talent, please.
You got Madison Beer, multiple people, 2 members of G-Idol to help make these characters what they are, get all that advertisement for you, make you ass loads of money, and you can't pay them. Right? I know you have a bad reputation. You could try and fix it, like a little bit. Just like a little bit. It was one of the few things you had.
I mean, you're not Blizzard bad, but I'm like, you guys are still like in the bottom of the shitter with the rats.
They're
not
far up from Blizzard. There were Blizzard that made music that I liked. All right. So, hey, Mike, what was the first thing that I did a buy or sell for last podcast that you thought was really interesting as a concept for a show that's going to be on Amazon?
Was it the Horizon game?
No, it was a show that you put into the notes because you thought it looked really cool and it involves video games.
Oh, it was that anthology series.
That's correct, Mike. Do you know what one of the games that were listed in that anthology series were?
I can't remember exactly.
It rhymes with Concord. The game that is being shut down less than a month after it was released, and they're issuing refunds.
You know, yeah, I can't wait for the What Happened with Maddie McMuscles episode on this to come out, because holy shit, I thought Suicide Squad was the disaster of the year, but Jesus Christ.
The worst part about this is, and this is starting to bring up an actual fucking problem with game cycles. And don't get me wrong, I will fully admit we didn't need another hero shooter. Could it sustain? Yes, but it's in a very crowded thing to where if you were going to make a live service game, you probably shouldn't have made a hero shooter. And they actually had a pretty cool idea where you like actually get new cutscenes every week to tell you stories with your people. But this was a type of game that was not needed. I'll fully understand it. But this game took 8 years to make. Do you remember what was really cool 8 years ago? Hero shooters becoming a big thing. Movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and other interesting story options and stuff like that. When the game takes 8 years to come out, you can't capitalize on that shit anymore.
Nope.
I get it. My favorite franchise of all time right now is Horizon, and each one of those games has taken about 6 years to come out. That's a little bit different because it was basically making its own microcosm of a thing, and that's fine. But not every game now needs to take 5 to 6 years and cost $200 million.
But here's the thing, too. Like, I'm going to shake my fist at the sky saying, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Not everything needs to be a fucking live service. And especially if, like, the only live service shooters that if you want to make like a crap ton of money versus just like a game that does fine, it's like Fortnite. But the reason why people play Fortnite is because it constantly updated with like cosmetics and different ways to play the game. Like the actual game is just, it's like a tag game. Like there's really not that much to it. It's not these, I seriously doubt the budget of Fortnite is like $300 million plus.
Well, it might be with the amount of the shit that they put into it now, but
no, I'm just saying when it was first in development, no way.
No. And like, this was a company that was making this thing now, and I'm going to be honest with you. If this came, and like, this is going to be one of the few times where I'm going to be kind of like, it was probably a good thing they got bought by Sony. They might not have had jobs if this thing released without them. Like Destiny's another one right now where Bungie is on a life raft and it's got a big old Sony logo across it. Like they misrepresented their funds, all that. Like Sony's done some backward shit. They really have. Some of the stuff with their Steams and other things that they've done was just backward as fuck. I'll fully admit that. But right now they might, and this could not, I'm not saying they might not get shut down because they still fully could. But I'll tell you right now, there's another game company that Jade Raymond, a studio veteran, is making another live service game that they were making when Sony bought them. And they bought them because they liked this game that is live service. I would be shaking in my motherfucking boots to make sure this thing's something good and worth selling over there. Because it better be worth it. Now, is it a hero shooter? No. It's an extraction game, which is a lot opener of a market. But make it good. My God, make it good. Because, ooh, boy. Oh, that has got to be, I would shudder to think that anything would be a worse bomb in gaming history. That's got to be up there if it's not the top one.
I mean, the only thing I would think it'd be even comparable to would be the E.T. Atari game.
I mean,
but like, I would need to know what the cost difference versus inflation would be on that.
I mean,
like,
it's just, but even then, it's not really comparable because at least there's actually some surviving versions of the E.T. Atari game. This is just, since everything's digital, this is going to be lost media. This is going to get like nuked to heaven.
Yeah, like the best thing I can see possible from this, which why they didn't do this from the start, I'll never understand. It was a hero shooter that they, well, like, I guess they did this with Overwatch, but then they did cosmetics and other things. Like, they probably should have put this out as free to play and then did cosmetic options and stuff like that. But but anyway, so we said in the buy or sell that Capcom is looking to bring back a bunch of their old IPs. And I was like, that's amazing. I'm like, I wonder why they're doing that. And then this weekend, I find out that the guy behind Dragon's Dogma and basically the godfather of Devil May Cry after Kamiya made the first one, Hideaki Itsuno, is leaving Capcom after 30 years. I kind of feel like I'm never getting a Devil May Cry game ever again now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Even the reboot that no one liked, which if they actually play it, it plays awesome. The storyline was just he went to the studio and helped them get it across the finish line because they needed help from the daddy of Devil May Cry. I'm kind of scared because they went back. Like, I can't tell you the actual joy across the gaming community when that fucking trailer hit during Xbox's presentations and people were like, they're mentioning Redgrave. That guy sounds like Johnny Young Bosch. Is that fucking Nero? And then you see him come out on stage and proclaim, again, this is Hideaki Itsuno, who had been working in the games industry for 20 years at that point, say that he is promising that this is the best game he has ever made, and it will exceed your expectations. Expectations that are fucking impossible when it comes to that game series, and he crushed it. And then just went, yeah, that's the best character actions ever going to be. Don't try it ever again. Then made Dragon's Dogma, which was phenomenal. And then went, yeah, I'm going to retire and make games in another environment after I've been killing it at Capcom for 30 years. I don't know how to feel, because even with him at the helm, it would have took probably another 6 years to get another DMC, because that's the regular space between them, because they do well, but they don't sell 20 million copies because it's not that big of a field for a player base. Not everyone is a hardcore character action nut, because there is a learning curve to these games to be very good at them. I cosplay Nero. People come up to me at cons and start talking about these strats and how to do all these things. People, I'm not the greatest at these games. I just like the story in them, because for once in 5, they actually made a very good story to it. And that's what hurts me, because now I'm not going to see the last part of Nero's trilogy probably, because Itsuno's gone. Anyway, I just had to get that out because it sucks. I wish him all the best, because he is going on to make games in a new environment. I don't know what that environment is, if he's starting a new thing, but I don't know. I would kind of shit a brick if he ends up at Platinum, where a bunch of ex-Capcom developers went and just made their own studio to make all their cool stuff. But we'll see. That's all I got. I just needed to have a quick in memoriam about how the fact I'm probably never going to get Devil May Cry again. It's not a series that anyone can jump into either. Oh. You have to know it. It's kind of one of those things where the mechanics are very basic, and to come up with a new thing that's inventive for it is very hard. So it's a hard field to break into. There's a reason why there's only like three well-known IPs in it, really. And like Bayonetta, the other one, we just had multiple versions of each game and 3 different games across the years, starting with the PS3, now on the Switch. Devil May Cry 5, just 5, sold more copies than all of them combined.
Oh, wow.
And Bayonetta's good, by the way. Storyline of 3 is ass. I've never seen a game more go, the game is done. What do you mean Devil May Cry 5 just came out and everyone loves it? Oh, we should shove a legacy character in here for no reason. And then it not be really good. And anyway, going on. Something that'll be more of interest than you two, Mike especially, because this is something you would like. And if Jacob is still in here, he said he really liked the games when I played them. Annapurna partners with Remedy to bring Alan Wake and Control to film and TV and will co-finance Control Part 2 as a deal from it. I don't think if they're allowed to be fully involved that the world is ready for a Alan Wake or Control TV series. I'm going to tell you right now, you thought Twin Peaks was weird?
Yeah, I don't think people are ready for that at all.
Throw Twin Peaks and a whole lot of LSD and you get Alan Wake. And then I don't know what you want to consider Control to be, but and it's one of those things where a decent amount of the actors, you can just use the people that were in the games because they're actual actors that are playing the characters.
Although obviously, if they are casting the actors, won't they have to wait till after the strike is resolved?
They will most likely. I'm wondering how that works because
or maybe
it's video game acting. This wouldn't be video game acting. This would be acting in a thing based off a video game.
Yeah, that's where I'm sort of questioning the gray area.
So I'm thinking that this would be okay. The other part wouldn't, because technically it'd be like you can't show up in a Fallout series because you were in a game. But it's live action and it has no gimmicks to do with video games.
I think where I'm questioning is just the fact that Annapurna is partnering with the developers of the game to make this series. So that's kind of where the gray area is. But you are right in that they're not acting in a video game. It's just an adaptation.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, it's trippy as shit. Anyone who has not played Control, I can't suggest it enough. Like at all. It's one of the most when George Lucas didn't get told no and it was a bad thing.
Oh yeah.
These people didn't get told no and it was the best thing that ever happened. Remedy is the definition of no one told us no and you're going to be happy because they didn't. Mike, message Josh after this, and he probably knows about this, but if he doesn't, be like, hey, did you see the deal struck between Annapurna to make Control and Alan Wake TV shows? and say, hey, do you think they'll work well for TV shows? And you will hear his head explode all the way from El Paso.
I definitely need to hear what he has to say.
I kind of wanted to get him on the podcast, but I couldn't get a hold of him. But anyway, yeah, that's so I still don't believe that I'm not living in a fever dream that GameStop is still a company. But GameStop is going old school and launching GameStop retro stores. Thoughts?
Fuck
This
GameStop?
sounds like an idea. You know what this reminds me of? This is basically the equivalent of like this would be like Blockbuster coming back and starting retro Blockbuster.
Like, I'm trying to wonder. So are we going to say nothing is rentable or buyable post 2000? What are you going to get? What are you going to get in there that's buyable that you would want someone to pay GameStop prices for? Because I'm sorry to tell you, most of what you would have in there would be Nintendo products, and they don't lose value.
Yeah, all I can say is good luck, guys. You're going to need it.
I'm trying to figure out where the process is. GameStop Retro. We got some graphic tees with Mario on them, but also there's a PS5.
They need to define the they need to draw boundaries of what is retro and what isn't, because they could be those people who say like, oh, retro is anything before 2013 or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I don't know. This confuses me so much. But hey, if they think it's going to save them, they do what they need to. All right. So, speaking of companies that know what they're doing, Ubisoft has Ubisoft has asked a bunch of Star Wars Outlaws PS5 players to install an update and restart their save files from scratch due to game-breaking bugs. And the game-breaking bug was essentially, if I remember this correctly, because I did not buy the game, I wanted to wait to see if it was even worth it or if it was in a playable state because Ubisoft, where you fly off the main first planet and you would just basically get stuck in space and couldn't land on any planets. You were just stuck hovering. So their solve for this is people that got like 20 to 30 hours in by this point to install the update and then restart your file, because the update isn't good enough to fix the glitch on its own. You need to completely restart your file. Now, keep in mind, people paid $110 plus for early access to this game.
I mean, is that not embellic? I can't even say it right. Emblematic of like the game industry. Like, is it not? Like, isn't that just like a cornucopia of like bullshit of everything that is modern gaming?
It is to a degree, but most of them can hand out patches where you don't have to restart your game file. That's outrageous. The game-breaking bug is so bad that you have to restart your actual save file?
Yeah, that's bad.
Like, the only other one that was so bad was, speaking of other companies that know what they're doing, Konami, was when they did Metal Gear Survive, they made you pay $10 extra for a second save slot.
Oh, God.
And a zombie Metal Gear Solid game, because that's what we wanted. That also had no involvement from Hideo Kojima, because that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
Already their first mistake.
Yeah. All right. Going back to more companies that know what they're doing. In March, Bungie, top employee and former Marathon director Chris Barrett suddenly left the company. Barrett was fired after HR investigation found that he had behaved inappropriately with at least 8 female employees, Bloomberg learned. Speaking to Bloomberg, multiple women have reported that Barrett would text them about his new cars. Oh, wait, that was the other guy. He would frequently make suggestive comments and ask to play truth or dare. The woman said his advances were unwanted and they felt uncomfortable because he was significantly more powerful at Bungie. In a statement to Bloomberg News, Barrett said he never understood my communications to be unwanted, and I would have never thought they could possibly have made anyone feel uncomfortable.
Can I put this in song form, Brock?
You can do whatever you want, as long as I don't get copyrighted.
Well, there's no music in the background, so just imagine the music's there. Tale as old as time, something, something, the game executive creep.
They just can't win. They just can't win over there.
How hard is it not to be creepy and not to touch women? I'm like, oh my God.
Like, I try to tell people that this shit is bad, and then people are like, it can't be as bad as what you're saying. I'm like, at Activision, they had a Bill Cosby throne room.
And also,
that is not a joke.
Yeah, also, you just don't talk to enough women in general because you just know, like, just existing every day is like a woman. Like, it's like the stuff isn't shocking.
No, and it's just.
No, I mean, did I ever tell you the story about when I got catcalled?
No.
I don't think so, no.
No, I got catcalled one time in a Pikachu hoodie, and I actually had to go in the corner because I was laughing at it, but also I was like, Jesus, what the fuck? She was like, I want to catch you with my Pokeball.
Oh, men don't deserve the right to speak on most days.
No, they don't.
Like, I just talked to you guys earlier about how I'm legit terrified to go up to Ryuko and Yoko cosplayers because I don't know how to say it properly without sounding like one of those jackasses. Like, I don't know what to say. And then you get people who are just like, hey, man, like...
It's okay. I was like laughing and slightly throwing up at the same time. I think that might have also been the same semester. Like, I had like a guy who was like really into me. I'm like, I'm sorry to break it to you, dude, but I'm kind of gay.
Only kind of. Only kind of. All right. I have to see this next one. I think might already be a passage to continue without disabling. All right. Where was this? All right. The Bill of Mirrors is AR protect. It's passage of. Yeah. There was another. Sorry. Bill to protect performers from unauthorized replicas use was passed by the California State Senate on Tuesday. Will soon head to the governor's desk. That was more of the digital replica thing that we're on there. A lot of this stuff gets out of time as it goes through because of the 2-week thing. So that was something we already did. Okay. Another company that knows what they're doing. Microsoft and Activision Blizzard accused of bad faith bargaining by Raven Software union workers. They allowed them to unionize, by the way. Yeah, I know.
The acting in bad faith? No, Microsoft would never do that.
Yeah. Unionized Raven staffers have filed an, I'm going to have to look up what this means, NLRB complaint against their employer after struggling to secure their first collective bargaining agreement. National Labor Relations Board. That's right. But yeah, so they let them unionize and now they won't talk to them. Oh shoot, what the heck? Okay. Yeah,
we'll get there, Jake. We will.
We'll get there slowly. But yeah, I just love how they're like, we're the good guys. We let them unionize, and then we put them in a corner and locked them in a closet. Won't talk to them.
Like, every time shit like that happens, it further validates why we need fucking unions, because, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like Toys for Bob, another company that bought themselves out from Activision Blizzard. We're going to work on I believe it was a Crash Bandicoot game. And now that game has been quietly canceled from the sounds of it. Even though every Bandicoot game that they've helped make in the past has made them good money. Oh, speaking of another company that really is good at doing things, Amazon Games, Christoph Hartman says AI won't take any jobs away as we really don't have acting.
Probably the most tone deaf thing anyone can say.
He can just suck a dick along with Ivy Dunkley, fucking Duncan. I don't even care, like, idiot.
Like, I saw so many people posting things, and I want to say it was Zane that posted this. A lot of people feel different ways about The Last of Us Part 2. I don't think a lot of people actually read between the lines and just got mad that my guy who did a bad thing was better than the other guy who did a bad thing. But anyone who watched the actual scene where the deed goes down, that shit's acted out in real time. That's not CGI, whatever. You have stuff being masked over actual actors, and I got to see the previs. Video game acting is real acting. You just have a bunch of shit attached to you to make it look like a video game. Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker acted their hearts out in that shit. Anyone who's seen a single cutscene from God of War, Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima, most of some, I would say Ubisoft still has good cutscenes and certain stuff. I'll give them that. Remedy games also, it's actual acting. That scares me for anything that they work on, that this dumbass doesn't actually fundamentally know. That, or they're not actually going to pay actors to act out real cutscenes and they're going to have AI garbage. Again, a company that has more money than they'd ever know what to do with. Ever. Mm-hmm. No, we just can't pay. But we need to have crying closets for our employees to go manage themselves because they can't make it in our, coal mines of Amazon. Anyways, so on to some good news. Who has all seen Terminator 0?
I need to watch it because I'm still stuck in editing hell.
Yeah, and for reasons I said earlier, I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Well, I guess we'll save that for another time. It's very good. It's one of the first times I felt like they actually did something different. Heisers, I'm starting to think that you just haven't done anything in your life. Everything I've mentioned, you go, I haven't heard of that.
No, we've had the same discussion with him. I was like, dude, I'm like, where were you in the mid-2000s? Said our friend Jacob.
You don't need to tell me, Heisers, but how old are you? Because this is either going to help or hurt you. And how have you only seen the ending of Terminator 2? Now, I don't know if he's pausing or if it's because it's the delay in the stream that's making it take a little bit. It was a rerun on TV. I like how he didn't answer the age question. Heisers, you need to change that because a good chunk of it's really good. It's just thought out badly. 0 is genuinely phenomenal from start to finish. Is there a lot of the same exact tropes that you literally just can't get away? Kind of stuck in my hyperfixations on a good chunk of my childhood. Oh, I get you there. I've seen the same exact animes 100 times from when I was younger, but you can't get away from some of the things that Terminator shows just need to do now. but they actually did something that felt kind of fresh, and it was really nice.
Yeah, especially just because the last couple Terminator projects we've gotten have been not good. So
it was great.
Just like the little tiny W is the, just hold on, get right view.
Yeah.
So something I saw earlier, the director or the creator of Terminator Zero said that his favorite Terminator movie is Terminator Salvation. So I don't agree. I don't agree with that. Its moments, but I respect it.
I can tell you,
it's better than T3.
I'll take the ending of T3 over a lot of things that are in those futures ones. But I will tell you, watching Zero, that makes a ton of sense.
So does it feel like a mulligan for Salvation?
No, but I can tell you some things that they try to kind of do in Salvation sort of makes sense, but it won't make sense till you watch it, because people are going to be like, they didn't do exact plot points, this guy's fucking nuts. And like, there's little things, if you're kind of now thinking of it under the lens that his favorite one is Salvation, that makes a ton of sense. Because that one was trying to do some shit that was different. And this one did some things that were different, but in a different kind of way. It would be weird to explain. I kind of have to sit you through the moments where I kind of am connecting the dots now that I'm hearing that. But yeah, I can kind of see that. I can kind of see that. I will tell you, Salvation's not unbearably terrible. Like, Christian Bale's in it. That gives it a pass over most things.
Well, except if you're like the sound guy.
That is an ancient meme by now.
That is an ancient meme, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know context, nothing. I'm going to be whatever. Some people that are good actors do crazy things. If he would have beat the shit out of the sound guy, I'd have been talking about this a little bit differently. But it's just... yeah, that makes a lot more sense now that I'm watching Salvation. It's not like it takes place mostly in the future type of thing. You just need to keep that in the back of your brain as you're watching it now, because a lot of things click. And I will tell you, the best line in Terminator history is in Zero. And the best explanation of why most of the plots in Terminator films make no fucking sense is explained in Zero.
Ooh.
Because they explain what Endgame was trying to explain worlds better.
Okay.
So you're saying it fixes Terminator's, I guess you could call it continuity?
Well, no, it basically tells you that the idea of Terminator, how they do it, doesn't make sense if you actually get down to the bare bones. This one went, no, if you actually did what keeps happening with Skynet and the Resistance, this is how it would actually happen. And they say it slowly, and they make it make perfect sense within 5 minutes.
Okay.
It's the best explanation of how actual time travel would work for these people ever. And in any time travel movie at all, it's the most sensical explanation of time travel I've ever seen. But also, I will spoil it a little bit. So they get the whole thing, this Oracle that is like the special person, the whatever. She's talked to, I can't remember if she's called their Oracle or their prophet, where she knows how certain things are going to happen and how certain things are going to be explained, and that she knows that this event needs to happen. So she's talking to Ico. I believe it's Ico? Iriko? It's Ico, I believe. The main protagonist that they're sending back. And she's explaining and she's talking to her. She's like, how do you know that, like, do you know all these things now? Are you just guessing? Do you actually know these things, or is it bullshit? And he's like, she sends her back and goes, dear, I'm sending you back. You have no fate. That's the fucking point. And they bring that line back at the end to better explain how time travel should work in any time travel movie?
But is it a dark fate?
No, because it makes sense. Dark Fate has one of the worst time loops fucking ever. And you want to watch me explode on how dumb it is? We made a review for that trash pile. Dark Fate's time loop is one of the fucking worst ones ever. And it's the biggest, it's just the biggest Terminator doesn't understand how its own time loop should work and how it shouldn't keep happening to go back how it does. And to be honest, Mike, this is a mulligan on Dark Fate.
Okay.
But I can see why the guy liked his favorite is Salvation. But this is, honest to God, a mulligan on Dark Fate. The more I'm thinking about it now. I tried to actually actively forget that Dark Fate exists. But, yeah. Okay. So, speaking of things that made sense, Noel and Liam Gallagher appear to have settled their differences. And if the truce holds, will play massive concerts in London and Manchester's Heaton Park in 2025. Who had this on their 2024 bingo card?
Not even a little bit.
Nope. Yeah, I don't know. They must have saw God or something, because holy shit.
I saw so many memes where someone is like, they're waiting in the queue to go to their first concert and they've already split. Like just having to sit backstage with each other.
But you know, Wonderwall in like 2025 is going to hit like real fucking different.
I'm still out of my spots on my bingo card and I need 2 more. It is going to hit different. And then I saw someone make the joke the other day and it was really great. They're like, hey, do you think that it was in a text, so it made a lot more sense. It was like one person, hey, do you think that the truce is actually going to hold between Noel and Liam to make it to the first concert? And the very next line, maybe.
But
like,
you know what?
Yes!
But you know what would really make it so that we're back is that they get in fights with Blur. Then that's how we know we're truly back.
Long and since I've heard Blur be mentioned in anything. It's been a minute.
You want your 90s nostalgia? Here you go.
No, the next thing I need to have is Limp Bizkit playing at Woodstock. And then I'll feel my 90s nostalgia again.
You know, it's like really like ironic because Fred Durst ended up being like the most fucking bass person out there.
It's kind of nuts how that man is allergic to failure no matter how hard he tries. He just keeps going. He looks like an old grandpa now. He can go out. I can't remember what concert. He went out in full cowboy uniform and then just played Limp Bizkit songs like normal. He didn't make country versions. He just played them like normal. Like, Fred, what are you doing?
He's just winning.
He's just winning. And I hear supposedly there was some interview with not Lars Ulrich. Who's the main guitarist that he had the falling out with that finally came back?
Oh, Wes Borland.
Wes Borland. That they basically don't have a set list until the night of. They just come up with it while they're waiting for the show to start. That's bonkers.
And strangely, I believe that.
I do too. I somehow think it's just like, nah, we just feel like playing, I don't know, Boiler, because people still somehow remember. I don't know. And somehow it tells me that almost nothing from Gold Cobra is on that list at all.
Probably for the best.
The actual legit song Gold Cobra is not bad. That music video is hilarious. Because that's the most Limp Bizkit thing they've done in a while. I have not listened to, what was that new album called? Yeah, We Still Suck. Like,
it's just still sucks.
Still Suck. Yeah,
But the thing that's like most hilarious to me about Limp Bizkit is that you'll still find people pissy like years later about Freak on a Leash.
Elaborate.
I don't know. I mean, people just get upset about it because I don't know.
I have literally zero context of why they'd be mad about a Korn song.
Oh, because
what am I missing here?
Yeah, the dots aren't connected.
I mixed it up because my brain's melted. Like, Brock, do you have an idea like how much fucking like anime of like one show I've watched like the last 2 weeks?
I don't doubt it. I was just very confused that I didn't know they had a feud with Korn over something.
That would be objectively hilarious.
And it's something I could see happening. I'm not gonna lie, I could see it happening. I was like, that one that skipped my purview.
No, but speaking of Korn, I still never forget this one game dev on Twitter. Her daughter's name was supposed to be Cora, and they misspelled it on the birth certificate to Korn.
Okay, that's objectively hilarious.
Okay, that is funny.
And it was legally. It took like 3 weeks to legally change it because they put the name on it, and I guess they didn't spell it, so they thought Cora was Korn, like the band. Speaking of Hannah Montana, the riffs, like the in between, like the scene riffs, the guy who composed the show released the unedited version of them. So there's like 8 minutes of like Hannah Montana, like Miley Cyrus going, ooh yeah, it's like scene transitions.
Okay. Back to the original part of this tangent. What song were you thinking of originally?
I don't know. But for some reason,
was it a cover they did?
No, I don't know. For some reason, I don't know why I just got Korn confused. I don't know. I'm like in the bad place right now. I mean, okay. Brock knows why I'm in the bad place. I mean, he's seen the edit, so.
Okay. If anyone watching this somehow thinks that they know what she was trying to think of, put it in the comments. You could do a wrong answers only. I don't care, but just something.
So they're not going to be able to answer it because I wasn't thinking. Yeah, I don't know. My brain just fully melted down.
I would help you, but even I'm confused.
Like, Mike's my music guy too, so like when he was confused, I'm like, I don't know. But
I don't know. Right. I just had like a senior moment. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
All right. Anyway, so ESPN, this is something I thought was really great, and that's why it's probably never going to happen. ESPN proposed dropping a price to $70 for a full season to sell single team packages. And I think it got shot down pretty quick. That to me, for a year, $70 to watch your entire team just on a single thing, that to me is a pretty good package if you just want to watch your team.
Are we talking about the cable network or ESPN Plus?
I think I don't exactly. I believe it was ESPN Plus. It was just a package you could get.
I'm guessing they're doing the idea of something similar to Apple TV with like the MLS, where it's like a separate, like you get the whole season for like $70, which isn't bad.
No, it's really not.
No, compared to like NFL, like Red Zone, it's like so much cheaper.
Oh, absolutely. It was
or even like the MLB one. I mean, I usually get the MLB one for free. I barely use it because I usually watch my stuff mostly in market, but even that shit's like $100.
Yeah, ESPN proposed I read it incorrectly. I had the link back under it. The ESPN proposed dropping the Sunday price to $70 and offering single team packages, and the NFL said, nah.
Which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
because that would have undercut them like so much by like Red Zone.
Yeah, I can understand why the NFL's like, yeah, nice try.
No, because the Red Riot himself, Roger Goodell, needs all the money. Speaking of which, since we're on like sports, I have to send you this. I'm not sure we could just play, but you could see the tweet, so you get the idea. Have y'all watched any of the White Sox at all this year?
I can't tell you the last time I watched MLB.
All right. Well, this one's why is this not copying and pasting? Hold on. All right. I'll get it in a sec. It's from here we go. Oh, I could just airdrop it because I'm an idiot. Anyway, the White Sox are actually like historically bad. Like this is like once in a century bad. So the White Sox record as of right now is 31-109.
Ooh.
Holy shit. I'm not going to put this on here for fear of something happening to my YouTube or Twitch channel because that's actual MLB footage. But oh boy, is that bad.
Yeah.
You can read out what Jeff Peston said.
Oh my goodness, the White Sox have just gone full White Sox. If you're missing, basically directly behind third plate, you almost had a 3-person collision trying to grab a ball. Pop fly, easy catch. 2 of the guys go basically into a head-on collision with each other. And it wasn't a 3-way collision because one guy stopped short. No, he just full-on slams his head into the guy's left shoulder and he's on the ground grasping at his face. He might have a concussion from the looks of it.
Good Lord.
But here's the crazy thing.
The White Sox are 4-37 since the All-Star break. They have to go.
They were like a competitive team like only a couple years ago. Like what happened?
I can't tell you the last time I wore whites. Manny. I didn't know where you were going to go with that Sox comment, Manny.
Oh, yeah.
Get your special sock out, nerds. But no, yeah, that's really bad. That reminds me of Brian. I don't know if you'll ever see this. One of my best friends, Brian, never lived in Chicago, ever, but his mom is from Chicago. And he has this obscenely overpronounced pride of the Cubs for no reason. So then, well, it was in prepping up into the year, up and leading into that World Series when they finally won. And he's getting all hyped and whatever. He's like, can't you just be happy for me? I'm like, no, I'm going to drop a bombshell on you as soon as they win. If they do, that's going to ruin your life. He's like, well, you can't say no. Like, no, I hope they win just so I can say this to you. Because he's just like, bro, whatever. They finally won. And they're celebrating, took him out to eat, had a couple beers, all that. And he's like, what'd you need to say? I'm like, how does it feel that there's nothing special about that team anymore?
Oh my God.
The only thing they had going for them was that losing streak. And now they're just like everyone else. And he looks me dead in the eyes, says, I hate you, and then continues eating his meal. I'm like, that's the only reason you liked him. I knew it. And you want to know who hasn't talked to me about the Cubs ever since then? Him. Anyway, all right. So this is going back to Jacob's Lionsgate comment. I know nothing about this, but I just saw it and saw that we had to include it. Megalopolis trailers, fake critic quotes were AI generated, and Lionsgate dropped the marketing consultant responsible for the snafu. What is Megalopolis? Because I've refused to look into it just so you could tell me what it actually was on stream.
Okay, so Megalopolis, this is going to be hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to pronounce. It's stupid.
Megalopolis is a passion project directed by Francis Ford Coppola, a project he's been developing as far back as 1977.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been one of those projects that he's been just working on forever. Lionsgate just picked up the rights like a couple months ago. Before that, he was kind of struggling to find a distributor. Yeah, as Jacob pointed out, he sold his winery to get it funded.
Holy
that's
shit.
that's how much he's like all in on this movie. And yeah, even that movie has its own set of controversies, like Coppola's on-set behavior. We would have to do an entire episode about everything that happened, like behind the scenes. But to say that Coppola has become a controversial figure is putting it lightly. This monstrosity, this recent trailer is just kind of another one of Lionsgate's L's from the past month.
And boy, they've been taking so many L's.
It started with Borderlands just completely dying on the vine.
Demolishing the box office. Oh, in a bad way.
And then 2 weeks later, The Crow ate Crow.
That's right. That was theirs too. Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
Like, yeah, they really can't catch a break unless it's either John Wick or Hunger Games. Lionsgate just doesn't know how to studio.
You know, the worst part is the test footage of Jason Momoa's Crow thing got out. It looked really good. Just him in the makeup and like talking and acting and like about how this was supposedly like one of his dream roles, and then
and that always hurts. Anytime like an actor gets to be in a dream role and it just doesn't work out, I always get very, very depressed for their on their behalf.
And especially when it's something that's low budget and not a thing that would be helped by a big name wanting to do it.
I don't know why, like, I get they wanted to do an actual adaptation, but I'm like, The Crow is just like so associated with like the tragedy. It's like kind of hard to divorce it from it. And then to add insult to injury, it absolutely sucks.
Yeah, you know how like when they say the Hot Topic version of something, when you make the Hot Topic version of something that's normally at Hot Topic, it's not good.
Nope.
It's not good. All right, so I talked about needing spots on my 2024 bingo card, and I'm running out here. Chick-fil-A is moving aggressively into the entertainment space with plans to launch a slate of originals for its own streaming platform. Thoughts?
We don't need any more streaming services because streaming's about to hit a bubble. And also, like, realistically, like what are you going to do that's different from Hallmark? Like, I'm genuinely asking.
No, not Hallmark. The knockoff Hallmark that's made by like all conservatives. Because
I mean, Hallmark has some fun shit. Like, they know what it is. Like, it is the equivalent of like having a big, one of those big like Krispy Kreme glazed donuts that's like really hot. You get it hot the glaze. It's not good, but it's not like the worst thing you could eat for you.
Yeah, and then they make, why does it need to be a thing? And why is Chick-fil-A of all places? I don't know, dude. Now, here's the question. Can you watch this streaming service on Sundays?
Ha.
I see what you did there.
I'm being legit. Like, could you imagine if they didn't allow you to watch it on Sundays? Could you imagine?
How would they even enforce that? Like
the app just doesn't work on Sundays?
It's like you're watching something at 11:30, or like, and then what? The second it turns midnight, the app just shuts off.
That would be so funny.
Yes, the app turns back into chicken.
Like, it would be, you know how on the Wii, after a while, it would tell you to go outside? Like, if you played it for too long, imagine if the Chick-fil-A ad just went, hey, it's Sunday, you should really go to church. And it shuts the app off. Could you imagine?
That would be hilarious. or like, it's midnight and it says, you have church in the morning. Go to bed.
Exactly.
Jesus won't be happy with you.
Jesus rested, and so should you. That was why I'm like, what are you gonna, how, like, here's the thing. Outside of their originals, what's gonna be on this?
I mean, because the only thing not KFC, Chick-fil-A has done entertainment-wise is usually during the Thanksgiving Day parade, they usually have like those animated shorts. Like, I don't think they've like done anything else.
Are we going to have all chicken-centric content? Are they going to have only movies that have chickens in them?
But Chick-fil-A's, I think, are the cows. So would they all be cows? This is stupid. Why are we even talking about this?
Chick-fil-A has chicken. It is chicken.
No, it says eat more chicken, but the mascots are cows. And this, I can't believe we're having like an in-depth conversation about this. Oh my God.
In 2024, we were meant to ask what chicken-related content is going to be on the Chick-fil-A streaming service.
I don't know. This is life isn't real. We're in a simulation.
What mascots were Chick-fil-A considering before it picked an illiterate cow begging for its life? I have no idea. Got me, man. Whatever sells chicken. I got nothing. All right. So we normally do a casting call at the end of this, and I had one. And I kind of basically have what I have this person nailed as, and I don't know what other options pop in people's brains, so I kind of try and do it off the cuff. But the casting call for this week is Alexandra Daddario.
Ooh.
I immediately go to Rogue with her. I want that really bad.
I see it. I'm trying to think. Because for Marvel, that's just too perfect. Like, if I'm not going to get my dream casting of Keke Palmer as Rogue, then Daddario is the next best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now for DC, as much as I liked Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Helena in Birds of Prey.
You want her as Huntress.
Yeah.
I could be very okay with that.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that too.
I could be okay with seeing her in some black, purple, and white leather. I could be.
The other idea I did have was Zatanna, but I want to go with someone a little bit younger for that role.
Yeah, and also I feel like it would be like way too obvious.
Yeah.
It would be up there. There was another DC one that I had in my brain, but I couldn't think of it. What is Big Barda? I wouldn't be too against.
Ooh.
I
like that.
I don't know who you would get for Mr. Miracle to be beside her to do that, but I could see her doing that, and I'd be pretty okay with it. Or any of the Amazonian roles, really. But yeah, I thought it would be pretty simple. I didn't know what exact roles to get off that, but okay. So, Bree, where can everyone find you?
Well, when my brain's not melting, I'm at Crazy Lemur or Lemur's Rule, some variation of Lemur on most platforms. I stream here. I'm working on some really cool stuff. Should hopefully be out in a month or so. And yeah, I really did not come to this stream prepared. I am so sorry.
All right, Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You guys can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
All right. You can find me everywhere at Organite Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. Umbreon finally enters the chat right as we're ending. And you can find me everywhere at Organite Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. I will be back to streaming this week. Took a little bit of a break for getting some other stuff done, and I will be hammering through Alan Wake, and then eventually getting into the Life is Strange games, the remasters that I never played, just because the new one's coming out.
Yeah, you know what we have to do? I don't think we could probably do this on stream because I'm pretty sure it uses music from Clannad. But we have to do a react to Neon Neko Sugar Girls. It's only an hour.
Only?
The whole series is an hour. It is high art. It's like, it is actually like legitimately one of the greatest pieces of modern satire like ever conceived. And the best part about it is the person behind it is still keeping the bit up like 10 plus years later, like still in character and everything.
All right. We will see you all later. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.